He said it so many times that even he began to question it himself. "I didn't do this." Those were his words. Simple, clear, desperate. But in a courtroom full of strangers, truth didn't matter. Only belief did, and no one believed him. His name was Daniel Carter. And this is the story, Hector, of how an innocent man lost everything. Before everything happened, Daniel Carter was invisible. Not literally invisible, but the kind of person the world overlooks. He was 29 years old. He lived alone in a small rented apartment on the edge of a quiet American town. The kind of town where people left their doors unlocked, where neighbors waved, but never really talked. Daniel worked at a local auto repair shop. It wasn't glamorous, oil-stained floors, greasy hands, long hours, but it was honest work. And for Daniel, that was enough. Every morning, he woke up at 6:30. Same alarm, same routine, no snooze, no hesitation. He brushed his teeth, made cheap instant coffee, ate toast, sometimes with eggs, sometimes without. Then he put on his faded work jacket, grabbed his keys, and left. He didn't listen to music, didn't scroll social media, didn't rush. He just existed. At work, he barely spoke, not because he was rude, but because he didn't know what to say. "Morning, Dan," his coworker Mike would say. Daniel would nod. Morning. That was enough. He wasn't lonely, at least not in the way people usually mean. He was just quiet. People trusted him. Not because they knew him well, but because he never caused problems. He fixed cars properly, didn't overcharge, didn't lie. The shop owner once said, "If everyone was like Daniel, this place would run itself." But outside of work, Daniel had no one, no girlfriend, no close friends, no family nearby, just silence and routine. And for years, that life stayed exactly the same. Until one night, everything broke. It was a cold October evening. Wind brushed through empty streets. Leaves scraped across the pavement like something trying to escape. Daniel finished work late that night, around 9:15 p.m. He locked the shop, checked the doors twice, turned off the lights. Same routine, always the same. He walked to his car, an old worn-out sedan, the kind of car you don't notice in traffic. He drove home. Nothing unusual, no stops, no detours. Security cameras later confirmed it. At 9:42 p.m., Daniel entered his apartment building. At 9:47 p.m., he was inside his apartment. And for the rest of the night, he never left. Or at least, that's what he believed. Because at that exact same time, somewhere else in town, something terrible happened. A young woman was attacked. She ran, she screamed, she fought, and somehow, she survived. But when police arrived, she was shaking, barely able to speak. They wrapped her in a blanket, sat her down, gave her water, and then they asked the question, the one that would change everything. "Do you know who did this?" She paused, her hands trembling, eyes wide. Then she said one name, Daniel Carter. The police didn't wait. They didn't hesitate. Because in cases like this, time matters. And an identified suspect means immediate action. The next morning, they knocked on Daniel's door. 3 officers, serious faces, no small talk. Daniel opened the door, confused, still half asleep. "Daniel Carter?" "Yeah. We need you to come with us." He didn't understand. At first, he thought it was a mistake, some kind of confusion. But as they handcuffed him, that confusion turned into fear. "Wait, what's going on?" No answer, just silence. At the station, they told him everything, the accusation, the victim, the crime. Daniel froze. His brain couldn't process it. "No, that's not possible." He shook his head, over and over. "You've got the wrong person. I wasn't there. I was home." But his words didn't matter, because somewhere else, a victim was telling a story, and her story, as he was stronger than his denial. And from that moment on, Daniel Carter stopped being an ordinary man. He became a suspect. The trial began 3 months later. By then, Daniel had already changed. He looked thinner, tired, his eyes no longer calm. He sat in court, hands folded, trying to stay still. Across the room, the woman sat, the one who accused him. She didn't look at him, not even once, when she was called to testify. The entire room went silent. She walked slowly to the stand, hands shaking, voice soft, and then she began. "I remember everything." Her words were clear, detailed. She described the night, the fear, the struggle, and then she pointed at Daniel. It was him. No hesitation, no doubt. Daniel felt something inside him break, because in that moment, he understood something terrifying. It didn't matter what actually happened. What mattered was what people believed. There was no DNA, no witnesses, no camera footage placing him there, nothing solid. But the prosecution didn't need it. They had something stronger, emotion. They showed photos, played recordings, repeated her story again and again. Each time, more convincing. Daniel's lawyer tried. There is no physical evidence, no proof he was there, but the words sounded weak. Because logic doesn't always win against emotion, and when the woman cried, the jury watched and believed. The decision didn't take long, too short. The jury returned. Daniel stood up, hands cold, heart racing. The judge looked down. "We find the defendant." A pause, and then the word that destroyed everything. "Guilty." Silence. Daniel didn't react at first, as if his brain refused to accept it. Then slowly he whispered, "No, this isn't real." But it was. The sentence was immediate. Life in prison. No second chance. No reset. Just an ending. As they took him away, he turned one last time, looking at the room, at the people who decided his life, and said, "I didn't do this." But no one answered. Prison wasn't just punishment. It was isolation, a place where labels stick forever. And Daniel had the worst one. He was seen as a monster. Even other prisoners kept their distance. He tried to survive, stayed quiet, avoided trouble. But inside, he was collapsing. Every night, he replayed the trial, every word, every look, every moment, trying to find the point where everything went wrong. But there was no answer. Daniel didn't give up, not at first. He wrote letters, dozens of them, to lawyers, to organizations, to anyone who might listen. "Please, review my case. I am innocent." But most letters were ignored. Some came back unopened, others received one simple reply, "Denied." Over time, the letters stopped, because hope slowly disappeared after 2 years. Daniel changed again, not physically, mentally. He stopped talking, stopped trying. Days passed, without meaning. He would sit on his bed, staring at nothing, as if waiting for something to wake him up. But nothing came. The world outside moved on, and Daniel was forgotten. 4 years. That's how long it took for the truth to begin to surface. But by then, Daniel Carter was no longer the same man. He was something else, something broken, something tired, and something that would never fully recover. 4 years had passed. 4 years of silence. 4 years of being forgotten. Until one day, something changed. In another part of the state, another woman went to the police. Her story sounded familiar, too familiar. The same pattern, the same method, the same fear. But this time, there was something different. This time, they had evidence, real evidence. The police found him, a 55-year-old man, quiet, unnoticed, just like Daniel once was. But behind that quiet face was something else, something dark. When they searched his past, they uncovered something horrifying. He had attacked not 1, not 10, but more than 55 women. For years, he had gone unnoticed, careful, patient, hidden, until now. Investigators began connecting cases, piece by piece. They compared details, dates, locations, methods, and slowly, a terrifying realization appeared. The case that put Daniel in prison matched this man perfectly, too perfectly, to be a coincidence. Daniel's case was reopened. For the first time in years, his name came back, not as a criminal, but as a question. What if they got it wrong? Investigators reviewed everything again, and this time they looked deeper, more carefully, without assumptions. Then came the most shocking discovery. The woman who accused Daniel was examined again, this time by specialists, psychologists, experts, and what they found changed everything. She had a rare condition, a disorder where the brain mixes memories, real trauma gets attached to the wrong face. She wasn't lying. She believed every word, but her mind had made a mistake, a tragic, irreversible mistake. After 4 years, the court made a final decision. Daniel Carter was innocent. The conviction was overturned, the sentence erased, and just like that, he walked out of prison, free. But something was missing. Freedom didn't feel real, not after everything. The world looked the same, but Daniel didn't. He moved slower, spoke less. His eyes carried something heavy, something permanent. People stared at him, some whispered, some avoided him. Even after the truth, the damage remained. Because once someone is labeled guilty, that label never fully disappears. At night, Daniel couldn't sleep. Every sound felt louder, every silence felt heavier. The courtroom replayed in his mind the voices, the accusations, the moment the word guilty was spoken, again and again and again. What if they still think I did it? That thought never left him. 13 days. That's how long his freedom lasted. Just 13. And then it ended. The report came quietly. No headlines, no noise, just a short message. Daniel Carter was dead. At first, it didn't make sense. There were no signs of violence, no struggle, nothing broken, nothing stolen, just a man, alone. Until they found it, a container, empty, and inside his body, traces of acid. Daniel had taken his own life, a painful choice, a final escape from everything, from the memories, from the voices, from the years that were taken from him. The man who said, "I didn't do it," was telling the truth all along. But truth came too late. It didn't give him back his life. It didn't erase the years. It didn't heal the damage. Because some things, once broken, can never be fixed. Sometimes justice arrives, but not in time. And when it's too late, it doesn't save anyone.